Alright, welcome back, and today we're going to be discussing Jamestown. Quick review of Jamestown. Before we get into Jamestown, let's start off with the Age of Exploration. They were sailing from Europe to make it to the east to get luxury items and luxury goods. They were doing this for three reasons: God, glory, and gold, as you can see right here. Now, the Age of Exploration happened between the 15th and 17th century. It can be categorized as starting with Columbus sailing in 1492, the ocean blue. Now, with that being said, we're going to jump from 1492 quickly to 1607, the first permanent settlement in North America, in Jamestown. Now, yes, Roanoke was settled as well, but Roanoke we're not going to get into yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But the settlers at Jamestown struggled to survive. Now, there's some key things and reasons why they struggled to survive. One was tension with the Native Americans. Two, lack of rain and water. They had their worst drought between 1607 and 1612 in that area of Virginia in years. So because of that, there was little rainfall, hard to grow crops. So now you have the Native Americans and the English settlers trying to go after the same area where there was going to be water, which is going to create more and more tension. Now, brackish water near the settlement of Jamestown. Brackish water is that mix between salt water and fresh water, where it's not really going to be great for growing crops or drinking. Plus, if you remember correctly from the DBQ that we went over and what we talked about, they didn't have bathrooms. So when they went to the bathroom, they dumped it back into the river. With that brackish mix happening, what ends up happening is you end up getting human waste in the water. It's not good for drinking or growing crops. Also, coming over to the New World, they had too many gentlemen. Gentlemen were people who didn't get their hands dirty and work in the fields. They were the people who sat there and said, you do this, you do that, you do this, and you do that. Because of that, they didn't start working and planting crops and doing things that they needed to do right away, which also hindered them from being able to survive without food. Plus, there was no women. Why is that important? Well, women were nurses. And women were the ones that helped take care when people got sick, got injured. There's also no doctors. So because you have no nurses, there's no doctors and too many gentlemen, there's no one to care for you if you got sick, if you got injured. So because of that, these are all some of the reasons why the settlement of Jamestown was struggling to survive in the beginning. Now, the reason why this is important is because before we move forward and start talking about the 13 colonies, we're just doing a quick review of how we got here in Jamestown. We're going to take some of the lessons that they learned at Jamestown, and their English settlements are going to be able to apply that going forward to the 13 colonies to make sure that they can establish this region for God, for glory, and because they're not necessarily sure if they're going to find gold, but they know that the Spanish settlements have been finding gold all throughout different regions, and they really want to see if they could get some kind of wealth built up for the king. So we're going to focus, still looking at the 3Gs, but why the 13 colonies begin to thrive after Jamestown and how they survive. So I hope you like this little quick wrap-up review video. We'll be back with some stuff in the 13 colonies. Have a great one. Thanks.